Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three crowd surfers that were here last week. In the bottom left, we have Regan, Belladonna, Catfolk Wizard, played by Char.
Hello.
Hello.
It's Monday yet again. Enjoy.
Thank you. Unless you're saying that to the audience, in which case,
I say it to the
you
audience. Anyone? Anyone?
Audience, you better think.
Reagan doesn't give those out to just anybody, so you
No,
gotta accept
special.
them. In the bottom middle, we have Tullios, Couldarn, human fighter, played by Will.
I imagine it's like going over to a friend's place and the cat likes you specifically and decides that you're the person. It's important. You got to thank them.
Yeah, but only for today.
Yeah,
and in the
just-
bottom right, we have Felix Milos, human bard, played by Alex. Hello.
Hello. This is what makes Monday acceptable.
Yay! We're here to brighten up those Monday blues, turning them into Monday reds.
Monday woos.
And if you're wondering, today's episode is brought to you by the Midwife. Ooh. With this power, players can boost medicine checks up a success level. And let's go ahead and get into it, I suppose. Last time on Third Action, our group of intrepid adventurers sort of dealt with the aftermath of the finding of a cure to Bloodveil. I don't know why I'm suddenly blanking on everything today, but what exactly did happen? Oh, right, of course. As the festivities were wrapping up. See, we do this live. This is what real GMing is like. You sometimes forget things. As the wrap-up party happened for the end of the plague, you found yourselves chilling at the Script and Scrimshaw, Felix's bar, wondering about or thinking about the various conundrums that still plague you in the wake of Andiason's defeat. And as you began to wind down and get ready to head home, Zalara, the fortune teller, summoned you to her house, and you decided to go. And there you obtained your third harrowing. She warned you that she may not be able to interact with you much outside of her home anymore, as her powers continue to wane, or her connection to the world continues to wane. But it seems like her house is where she is strongest. But taking her advice in hand, you decide to prepare yourselves, steel yourselves for the upcoming execution of Dr. Davalos, the sole sort of leading figure of the group, the cult who engineered the plague, Bloodveil, and inflicted it upon the city. You also did a little bit of a lot of shopping, a lot of preparation, spending some of that hard-earned platinum and gold. Speaking of which, did I actually give you the platinum?
I put mine in my inventory. I don't know if you gave it out, though, because I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, so each of you should have gotten 500 platinum. So if you haven't added that platinum to your inventory, please do. I just realized that I made like a little like loot item for it, and I never gave that to you. So
Oh, yeah. Nope. Did not see that. I just added it. So I'm good.
Yeah. We talked about it, but I just didn't. I just want to make sure you guys get your money, as you are all very rich. But in any case, you did a little bit of crime fighting. Found out that
Jolistina.
a certain Jolistina, the wicked clown woman, seems to be out and about, still causing mischief and madness on the streets. She was attacking a random shopkeeper. Mayhem managed to put a stop to it, but wasn't able to catch her in that particular night. But yeah, as things kind of calm down a bit, it's finally the day of the big festivities, as you all gather in the main North Castle Square of Castle Corvosa for the big event.
Woo.
And I'm not on the map. Let me go there. So you guys are relatively close to the front row. You're like in basically 3 rows back, roughly. And you can kind of see everything going on the main stage. The queen has just come out with her entire retinue of Grey Maidens. Dr. Davalos is being prepared for execution behind her. You watched him get dragged up to the chopping block, and a bag has just been placed over his head. The entire time he's walking, he is very kind of stoic, and just kind of staring out into nothingness. The executioner off to the side is sharpening his sword, getting ready to do the duty. Off to the right of the stage, Corditra Destade is sort of commanding some Grey Maidens to arrange themselves around the scene. You also spot Cressida Croft off in the corner. She's dealing with some Corvosan Guard, getting them to do some work. Up above, you see the Sable Marines all sitting atop the wall on their hippogriffs, keeping watch over the proceedings. And the queen is sort of front and center. She seems like she's about to start talking. And behind her is Sabina Marin, the head of the Queen's Guard, and the Grey Maidens overall. Another figure you don't recognize will also, as the Queen starts talking, there's another additional figure that's being sort of escorted towards the stage. So this kind of happen as she's talking, but it appears to be a very large, almost kind of bloated human man. He's very, very wide, very bald. Certainly a lot more flesh and fat than muscle. And he's kind of trotting along in these kind of long robes. And behind him is a fat, like pudgy red imp. That's his wing. The imp's wings are clearly too small to keep it in the air. So the imp is just kind of plodding around on hands and feet.
I feel like we have to adopt that imp. I don't know why.
It is kind of cute.
It sounds kind of cute. I feel like it's going to be super evil, but at the same time, I'm like, I want that. That, if not friend, why friend shaped?
So this guy is just, he's being escorted by the Grey Maidens. And he's just going to kind of move in behind the Queen as she's talking. But he's not there like right away. But he will eventually sort of work his way over here.
Are these people mildly famous in some way, and that like we should know them, or are these complete strangers who've just sauntered up on stage?
You don't recognize any of them. Or you don't recognize this guy who's behind her.
The larger,
even though
doughy person.
you may be able to see his name right now, but that'll come up shortly.
Yeah, don't know who this person is.
Yes, you've never seen him before, never heard of him before. Interesting that he's being led up by the Queen's Guard. But in any case,
Also being executed.
The queen looks to the people. She's got some kind of small wand, clearly that's been set up to cast bullhorn so she can project to the entire crowd. People of Corvosa, my people, she begins, making gesturing, or like sweeping gestures to the crowd. The plague has finally been defeated. And with that, you hear like a cheer kind of like erupt, and she gives pause. And it is no thanks. Oh, and there is no thanks to be given to this solution. Shoot. Reset. Mental reset again. I'm having a day.
Start from 1. And
And
action.
go. This is what I get for not writing out the speech entirely. All right. The plague has finally been defeated, she says, sweeping gestures to the crowd. And it is with great shame that I present to you the architect of that plague, she says, turning as Davos is getting his head covered by the Grey Maiden, who's then pressing his neck against the block. The crowd boos at him, and Iliosa seems to kind of take that in and smile. It is thanks to the Grey Maidens that this threat has finally been dealt with. And now, this doctor must pay for his crimes. And she raises her hand and snaps a finger. This Grey Maiden will kind of back away, and the executioner will come up.
Your moment is here, Felix.
The queen steps back.
As she says this, does the crowd respond at all? Do they seem to be on the same page of the doctor's behind everything, that this was all caused by the doctor? Or is this kind of a confusion, like, what the heck is she talking about? Where did this come from?
There's a lot of gasps and surprise.
Okay, so it's not clear that this was known before she announced it just now.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Some people, don't seem... There's some people who seem very surprised, and other people who are maybe a little bit more in the know who might have heard about Dr. Davos being a big part of the scheme, who are like... basically, anybody who was booing preemptively already knew.
Right, right.
So it's a mix. It's a mix of people who knew and who didn't know.
But it's mostly new information for a lot of these people. Okay.
Yes. But you guys you didn't tell anyone your story in like a really public way.
No.
So your version of events is completely unknown. Sorry, was there something that Felix was going to do at this moment?
No, we were joking about him sending a message right before the axe came down. And that's why I was saying, if the axe is coming down now, now's the time.
No, like, again, he's gonna bag over his
Call
head.
him a
Message doesn't work.
nerd.
All right, you consider it perhaps, but
Were there one last
in the
nerd
moment.
call right before he goes?
Stupid.
But the executioner's blade is swift with a single swing right through his neck. His head falls into the bucket. Blood splatters like a bit of the front row. Even gets a little bit on like the queen's dress here because she's not standing that far away. And on Sabina Marin's armor. And the body of Davos slumps and falls to the ground. A pair of Grey Maidens come and like lift up his body to sort of display to the crowd. And the queen then kind of steps back to center stage. And now he is paid. But tell me, my citizens, have your fears been assuaged? Has his death healed the wounds that our city has taken over these past few weeks, these months, since my dear beloved's death?
We
And
have
the
to shout
crowd...
no in unison.
Yeah, the crowd shouts no in unison. She smiles at this. I mean, she's kind of smiling the entire time. It's a side of her you haven't seen before. She hasn't. When you met her in the throne room personally, she seemed like a meek, kind of scared little girl. When you met her, or when you saw her speeches after her husband's death, she seemed sad and conciliatory. Here she feels confident, almost scarily so. But the smirk that passes her face, you can tell that she feels like she's got the crowd in her hands. So then, if forces unseen seek to strangle our great city, where then have our protectors been? She looks out. She's kind of like gesturing out to the crowd, and then turns. Come forth, my commanders. And she will step forward, and it'll take a few moments as like Sabina Marin steps in behind her. This large gentleman takes her opposite side, the little imp kind of standing just behind. Over on the side, Cressida Croft like looks over towards the queen, and the queen looks at her and kind of motions. Cressida seems a bit surprised, but kind of cautiously makes her way over to the stage. She'll do the full walk around, but will come set up beside her. And Marcus Endron, likewise confused, sort of makes a few gestures to confirm that yes, he's being called up, and he will fly down on his hippogriff and dismount and sort of take his place in this lineup of people. Good, she says confidently. But where, might I ask, are the so-called Hell Knights? She then produces some kind of scroll from her, from like behind her back. You're not sure where exactly. And holds it up. It looks like maybe it's some kind of contract. The Order of the Nail has taken our coin, but where is their service? Where's their presence? Why have they fled to Citadel Vrade in our time of need? She rips the contract dramatically and tosses it into the air. It's because they are cowards and thieves. She then kind of paces to the side. And what of the Corvosan Guard, perhaps? She says, looking at the field marshal. When was the last time a guard ever stopped a pickpocket? No, their methods, their training, they're too lax, too slow, too outdated. And with such low membership these days, they can hardly even manage to patrol the streets, let alone enforce the law. Cressida looks confused and worried, and there's like a flare of anger in her eyes. And she's like kind of holding herself back. She's not sure. This doesn't seem planned at all. She then kind of paces back towards Marcus Endron. And how fares the Sable Company? Their leader, she says, kind of snidely, The Seneschal Kallipopolis has fled the city in shame after my husband's death, so their complete inaction in the defense of our people should hardly be surprising. But at least, my people, your hard-earned coin assures that their hippogriffs are fed and cared for, while you starve in your homes. The crowd kind of grumbles a bit. Some people are a bit confused. Some people are like, yeah, why do we pay for them? And you can feel some, like, confusion and discontent growing around you. Well, my friends, I must tell you that this must be a new time for Korvosa, a rebirth, if you will. Since our Seneschal has not returned to us, I have seen fit to appoint a new Seneschal. Before you is Togomor, my dear friend and wise counsel, she says, gesturing at the corpulent man beside her. He takes a deep bow, and then kind of stands up sort of proudly. He will be picking up the slack where Kallipopolis has ran off. In turn, I've decided that, as of today, the Grey Maidens will be taking over full-time duties as your primary protectors. These fine women have been expertly trained, and they all desire nothing more than to protect our dear city. Therefore, the Korvosan Guard's funding shall be ramped down over the coming months, and the Grey Maidens will be taking charge of all of their responsibilities. Field Marshal Croft will stay around to see that the transition goes smoothly. And as for the Sable Company, however, she turns to look at Marcus. I'm afraid that you are no longer of any use to us. Korvosa needs present protectors, not layabouts who sap away at our funds. At the moment, or as of this moment, the Crown officially claims all properties and holdings maintained by the Marines. Commandant Endrin, you are hereby stripped of your position. Your badge, if you please. She holds out her hand with a very wide smirk across her face. Marcus and Croft seem like completely taken aback by what's happened. Marcus doesn't even seem to register what she's said. And as he kind of stares blankly at the queen for a moment, she kind of gestures with her hand again. And he hesitates and kind of like reaches for the badge at his chest. And maybe he mumbles something, you're not sure, but he then tears it from his breast and throws it at the queen. It strikes her cheek and like slashes it, and there's like a little bit of blood that dribbles down.
Ooh.
And everyone is just kind of stunned at this. Even the queen seems to not have expected that to happen. Marcus, meanwhile, is kind of shaking with rage, and in a quick instant, less than 6 seconds, quick draw, pull arrow, release. Your shameful reign ends now, Iliosa. Korvosa will be free again. The arrow flies, directly connects with the queen's temple. She staggers back. Everyone gasps. The crowd gasps. Marcus is not even 100% sure that he just did what he did. as Sabina realizes what's happened, she like draws her blade and moves to step forward, but the queen, despite taking a direct hit to the head, hasn't fallen, and she puts a hand out to block Sabina. And then in what happens in like almost a millisecond, the queen kind of like drops low, darts up to Endrin, yanks the arrow from her head, grabs Marcus by the neck, and like starts choking him as she lifts him into the air. And we have a little picture of that. Let's see, can I do this?
She's been working out.
There you go. Oh, Marcus, 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 she says, kind of shaking her head as the blood drips down the side of her face. I had hoped for better from you, but... And then she takes the arrow and jams it up his jaw, and like right through through his skull. He gasps and like blood dribbles down his face, and she throws his body to the ground.
Well.
And she then turns to the crowd, who's still dead silent. Behold, citizens, this shall be the new fate of all enemies of Korvosa. Mark well his punishment, she says, shaking as she points at Marcus's limp body. This is only the first. And then the crowd starts kind of panicking. People start shifting, moving, arguing, cheering, booing. Everything's kind of happening all at once. But in kind of a split second, Togomor like grabs the queen's shoulder and seemingly casts a spell, and the two of them like a magical gate forms behind Togomor. He grabs her and then kind of pulls her into it, and the two of them teleport away. Sabina then starts ordering the Grey Maidens to grab Endrin's body, and they start hauling off Endrin's body and Dr. Davalus's. Cressida is shouting something at Sabina, but you can no longer hear what's happening because the crowd is starting to just kind of like become a mob.
I'm starting to move us out of the group towards getting away and out, as once the queen has started once the queen disappeared, just to try and get us out of the center of this possible riot.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Woo. Normal. 26.
26 is a success. You managed to kind of help pull everyone, or like kind of help part the crowd to make a lot of space for you to get through. That is one success. You need 3.
I mean, I will keep going unless somebody else has any other suggestions or ideas. I'm just going to keep trying to get us out of here before it gets
No,
bad.
I mean, I'll help you.
Everyone will need to make a check of some kind.
Great. I'll let others do some stuff before I try again.
I can try to talk our way through the crowd to some extent and like ask people to yell people to clear way and to like disperse instead of rioting. So I guess that would be diplomacy.
Yeah, I would take diplomacy there. Trying to kind of calm people down who are starting to panic and attack each other.
That's a good roll.
32 will be a crit, and that will be the 3 points that you need. Regan needs do nothing.
Thank goodness, because I don't know. I'm very.
As you manage to fairly quickly pull the party through the crowd and away from the ensuing madness. And chat pointed out, I forgot to say, but Marcus's hippogriff is freaking out. As soon as he was as he's being dragged off, the hippogriff is just kind of like wildly attacking people. And if you like turn back to catch if you turn back to get glimpses, you hear the sound of the hippogriff screaming as it is being torn apart by a group of Grey Maidens who very quickly like surround it and execute it. Cresta Croft, for her part, very quickly runs from the stage. And you're not immediately sure where she's gone, but as you're running away from the madness that's now ensuing, you do catch sight of her on the street, running in the same direction as you are, presumably towards the Midlands. She looks at you from like across the street, and kind of fumbles for something at her waist. And Felix, you feel a message in your mind. Quickly, find Mayhem. Meet me at the Citadel. And then she runs off in the direction of the Citadel.
I'll send back, see you there. And I think we'll continue to make our way out to the Script and Scrimshaw, if only because we need a convenient place for a costume change.
Yes, that would be appreciated.
All right. So you're able to make it out to the Script and Scrimshaw fairly easily now that you've gotten past the crowds. The panic and such has not set in yet from these events elsewhere in the city, as people have not learned yet. But you can imagine perhaps some riots might be occurring soon. But perhaps not, if the Grey Maidens have anything to do about it. They were already, as you were getting away, you could hear the sounds of people screaming as the Grey Maidens are stepping in to calm this riot.
Are there enough of them, though? Why spread any writing might end up being. Or let's back to the Script and Scrimshaw for now. Make sure everybody there is safe and settled in before we change and make our way to the Citadel.
Yeah, when you make it back to the Script and Scrimshaw, there's just a couple of people there. Most people who would be out and about probably went to the to see the show. But Liz D, Shields from Flame, Taste, they're all there manning the place. Oh, hey Dad, how was it?
Not great. Not great. The Queen has decided to murder and also has disbanded the guard, or will be disbanding the guard. Not great.
What?
Yeah, you picked a good event to skip.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
We're going to be... Felix will need to talk about situating Lizzie so that she's not having to travel quite as much. But we'll talk about that later. We're going to go meet with the commander, Cressida, and we will be back. Don't go outside, especially if you start hearing things get intense.
You got it. Shields from Flame says as she kind of steps up, grabs her Earthbreaker, and she'll make her way to the door.
It may be okay, but just feel like if it's not one thing, it's another. I'd rather not anybody be outside and get caught up in this nonsense. Do we need anything, Felix?
No, I think we just have to find Mayhem.
See what we can find. Tully,
We also need to reset the hour since Corvosa has been in active peril sign.
you take care of that. I'll go see what I can dig up with Mayhem.
0 days.
I feel like we had just reset that not that long ago anyway. So Tully will go outside and find an alley since trying to change with Lizzie being there in the building is going to be a little awkward. But it only takes about a minute for him to...
And at this point,
quickly
like
things.
all the alleys around the script and scrimshaw that are good for changing, so it's
Well
not too hard
practiced.
to go find a spot.
Not that one.
Oh.
That one.
I should remove the Grey Maiden
Eventually.
outfit. from
I will
your
never need to be a Grey Maiden
repertoire.
again, I'm sure. I'll never
maybe
do
I'll
that
leave it there.
disguise.
Okay, well, after a few minutes chilling at the bar, you assume that that Mayhem should be about ready, and you head out and catch him in the street.
Yeah, I'll just signal you from the alley across the street once you come outside, and we'll meet back up and make our way to the Citadel.
All right, heading straight to the Citadel.
I think so, unless you had other plans. I didn't have anything I want to do right now beyond this, so...
How is the city in terms of riot state? Is chaos breaking out, or have the Grey Maidens cracked out?
As you step out into the street, you can see like there are Grey Maiden soldiers starting to kind of like march down the streets.
Preemptively.
Yeah. It seems like the city is about to enter some pretty serious martial law.
We will try and stay ahead of them and get our asses to the Citadel.
Okay. So you run down the streets. Yeah, which route are you taking? Are you going by the dock
Route
side or
66.
going?
Would imagine we'd be going... Yeah, probably dockside would be the fastest. Just to head
Yeah,
to the coast there and just hug the line. Hug the wall
distance from the castle square is a good thing here.
Okay. Yeah, you try to head as far east as you can first, running along the docks, passing through some of the Midlands neighborhoods just outside the Citadel, before making your way to the Citadel itself. Outside, there are no guards.
there. Swell. Just gonna go inside then. Hopefully we'll find somebody in there. Probably not.
Hopefully one
Oh.
person.
Yeah,
You,
look. We just need the one.
you head through the Citadel's main gate and into the main building, main tower, and the receptionist, not there. None of the other staff are here. All you see is Cressida standing, kind of leaned up against a wall, breathing heavy. And she turns and sees you. Oh, thank goodness you were able to find it. Come, it's not safe to talk here. And instead of leading you toward her office, she leads you towards the basement. And you like go through a big trap door, down through some of the past the jail cells, and kind of spiral down through the basement levels, until eventually you find a hallway that you haven't seen before. Mayhem, you've never been asked to go all the way down here. There's never been any reason. You assumed it was just either more prison cells or storage or something.
Sure.
But there's a heavy stone door at the end of the hall, and it appears to be locked as Cressida fumbles with her keys for a moment, finds one, sticks into the lock, twists, and you hear the mechanism unlock and the door kind of slide open. And the room itself there's a slight shimmer to the doorway, and the interior of the room is kind of filled with like a very faint fog. And Cressida steps in and kind of signals for you to follow.
And we do.
And you find that in the center of this room is a simple kind of square table, or a rectangular table. Looks like it could fit about 8 people. And Cressida takes the seat at one end.
Guess we'll take a seat across.
We found the Citadel Hookah Lounge.
There's so many seats.
Apologies for the change of scenery. This is the only room in the building that's protected from scrying and the like.
Is
It's
for
like an
serious
anti-scrying
intimidation?
spell. Is that
Yeah.
what the fog is?
Special prisoners, that sort of thing?
Yes, it's only meant to be used in the most dire of circumstances, but I think I have to consider this one pretty dire.
I can't say that I disagree. I presume you were completely blindsided by everything that just happened.
I had some inkling of the monetary changes to the guard, but I didn't think it would be that sweeping and this fast. She looks down at her hands as she sits there. She seems... I mean, she's always seemed exhausted. This job demands a lot from her and gives her nothing, as it were.
Did you send everybody else home, or were they already gone when you got here?
I told them to head home for now. Take the day off because I don't know what's going to happen next.
They'll probably come for you.
The way she spoke, I don't think it's come to that yet, but
Suppose you didn't shoot an arrow into her head.
no, that was... I didn't think Marcus would do something that crazy. She looks away. I had an inkling, but
He was that crazy?
that he would try to take matters into his own hands, but I told him that we should wait, find a better route. Find an opportunity to do something. There was no sense in just dying there for nothing.
Normally I would agree with you, except that his shot apparently hit true. Or it should have. He shouldn't have died for nothing.
It definitely hit true, she says, kind of reflexively touching her head, like near the spot, imagining the shot going into her own skull. I can't imagine the queen should have survived that, but whatever foul magic she's wrapped herself up into, it's obviously of the highest order. I fear that Corvosa is dying. No, not dying, but being murdered. Killed by our queen. I don't want to believe it, but with everything that you all have uncovered and with what you all saw today, I don't know if there's any other explanation.
I don't know why, and that has been the one question that has been driving on everything. If she's going to be queen, why be Queen of Ashes?
It seems to be not enough to be queen. She has to consolidate power. and surround herself with people who amplify that
By
power.
causing a plague? Again, Queen to be powerful and all is wonderful, I'm sure, but you have to have people at your beck and call, otherwise you're queen of nothing. And if everyone that is there is dead because of a plague uncontrolled, you're queen of nothing.
Not
What-
everyone. The remember the plague was not indiscriminate. It was targeted towards the most vulnerable and the poorest in Corvosa. She's trying to shape the city, shape the guard, shape the people into the image of what I do not know. But it seems she'll stop at nothing.
She's trying to make us more like Cheliax? Is that her goal? I don't know if that new seneschal of hers is from Cheliax as well. Saw he was followed around by some imp. Isn't that one of their preferences? Or is that something your school also summons?
There's
Regan?
lots of imps here. That's not that unusual, yeah.
That's what I thought. That's why I wasn't certain if that was necessarily a call out. But I know she's from Cheliax. Devil worshippers they are.
That man, I'm Togamore? I'm not familiar
Mhm.
with him at all.
Can't say
He
I've
might
seen
be
him
from
before.
Cheliax, but I'm not sure. And I feel like you're both right to some extent. It's clear that she's trying to shape the city, but it should be obvious to anyone just how important the lower classes are to society. There's not much to be gained in senseless death. There's something else going on here, and we fortunately don't know what it is. But I think I might know someone who does. Or who could.
Who?
Well, I'll take a lead if you've got one.
Unfortunately, it's not a great lead. I haven't heard back from him in a while, but you remember Vincarlo, yes?
I know Vincarlo.
He's a very good friend of mine. He taught me sword fighting back in the day, and long before I was ever a member of the guard or even an adventurer, and he's been a very reliable source of information on goings-on in the city, what the common folk think. He's a really well-connected man, and I've often relied on him for important information. I should have believed him when he suggested that the Queen might be dabbling in some sort of black magic or deals with the devil, or with a devil, but it all seemed too far-fetched, and even he wasn't completely sure about it. But there is one thing that Vincarlo's been looking into. You see, things have been difficult in Old Corvosa since the quarantine has gone into effect.
Mhm.
I normally have pretty regular correspondence with Vincarlo, but since then, I feared that I wouldn't hear from him for some time, but somehow he's managed to get letters to me anyway. And what he speaks of, well, it seems like the Seneschal, Neolandus Calipopoulos, may not be as dead as we might think. He's gotten word that the Seneschal, when the initial riots broke out after the king's death, he seems to have fled to somewhere in Old Corvosa, and he's been trying to track down exactly where that is. Vincarlo thinks that if the Seneschal's in hiding, then he must know something about what exactly the Crown is up to.
Seems reasonable. But Old Corvosa is where the Seneschal's hiding? I think that's where Vencarlo usually set up, isn't it?
Yes, he lives there and teaches a sword fighting academy. But the problem is I haven't heard from him in a couple of days now, and it sounded like he had a really good lead on Neolandis, and now I've heard that there's been smoke sighted from Old Corvosa, and I fear that riots may be happening there too. I'm worried what this could mean, and I feel like we should probably try to contact Vencarlo as soon as possible. If you're willing, I'd like you to go to his academy, and if he's not there, maybe check his house.
I'm
sure
more than
he's got
happy
to
to
have
do
found-
that, but we don't have a way across the bridge. Do you have one? Grey Maidens haven't been listening to regular citizens just trying to get across and have barred entry otherwise.
She shakes her head. I'm afraid not. My best thought is that you could try to get across by water.
It is a
Nighttime,
thought.
the Veil of Night might help. I know they've been increasing naval presence, but I think it should still be possible. And while I know it might be hard to get there, at least I think I have an easy way for you to get back.
Really?
And she reaches into her bag, kind of fumbles around. This is a pretty rare magical item I picked up on my own adventures. It might come in handy for you. And she places a simple, small rectangular wooden box that's etched with images of trees with doors in them, kind of like fairy doors. And she opens it up to reveal two long pieces of chalk, one white and one black. I lost the item, one sec.
Can't say I'm much of an artist, but
Well, you don't have to be with these. And, where's the actual... I'm not sure what these are actually called, but I've always just referred to them as shortcut chalk. If you use you can use the black one to create a door in a place that you find safe. And if you draw a door on a wall, it'll create a passageway that you can warp back to, using the other piece of chalk to create another door.
Ooh.
it's fancy.
I
Chalk.
know I'm not explaining it well, but I'm a bit stressed. Sorry.
Mayhem just looks at Regan. I'm sure that somebody here can figure it out.
Regan has big kitty eyes looking at the dog. Oh my goodness. She's picking it up. I have a spell very similar to this, except it only makes a pocket, I think. So she's like, oh my,
yes.
you can make a tunnel. Oh, this is great.
the doors do fade over time, and you can only have one door of each color, but if you set up one of the doors before you leave, you should have an easy way to get back.
Seems reasonable. And we can, if we leave one of the pieces of chalk there, we might actually be able to keep a way to move between Old Corvosa alive.
If necessary, we could do that. I'd hope that we can get them to stop with this blockade at some point, though. That was only for the plague, I thought, but now they're keeping cut off because of riots. Is that why they're keeping cut off?
That's what they're saying, but at this
Hmm.
point, who knows? It's possible that they also suspect Neolandis has gone into hiding. Maybe they intend to starve him out. I don't know. Whatever the case, I figure Vincarlo may have the best lead. I'd try to rally the guard, but if there's one thing that the Queen was right about, it's our capabilities right now are less than stellar, I suppose. Trying to rally against her might well just mean sacrificing the lives of everyone I command. And I don't know if I'm ready to take that step just yet.
Maybe once we have some actual definite proof rather than conspiracy.
Indeed. And if you're able to find the Seneschal, well, he might know something about what she's planning, but the Seneschal is also the one person in the city who might still have legal authority to challenge the Queen. The only reason that the Crown has the power it does is effectively at the Seneschal's request. It's long-standing tradition in Corvosa that the Seneschal has invited the Crown to stay at the castle. The castle grounds are effectively his.
Interesting.
If we can find him and maybe gain support from the legislature, there's a chance that we could at least tilt the tides. But it's a small hope.
It's a place to start, I suppose. But that all requires us to find the Seneschal and that he's still alive. We should probably start there.
She nods. I certainly hope so.
Yeah,
At the
keep your
very
head
least,
down in the
please.
meantime, though.
Yes, I was going to say the same to you. In all honesty, Old Corvosa might be safer than the main city as far as the Queen's concerned. I don't think she suspects the three of you too greatly yet, but if she does, I don't think she'll think to look in Old Corvosa.
So far, we've been keeping our noses relatively clean publicly, so... Well, these two have, at least. For me, they just have to catch me. They haven't quite gotten that down yet, so I think we'll be okay.
Indeed, you seem to be pretty good at this whole avoiding being seen thing.
Only when you don't want to be seen. Is there anything else we can do for you, Commander?
You've already done so much, but I can't help but feel that I've been right to trust you this much, so I just have to continue placing my faith in you.
This is my city, too. Mayhem stands
Should
up
you
from
need
the table.
anything, whatever resources I may still have are at your disposal, but I'll also be trying to keep as low of a profile as I can. At least until the time's right.
That's for the best. We have a way across and a way back. So now we just need to find where people are hiding. We'll check at the academy and see if Van Carlo's in.
Good luck to you, friends. And please come back safe.
Of course. Just gonna leave at that point and try and figure out the way back upstairs.
She'll follow you.
Okay,
out
she's gonna lead us out,
to
thank goodness, okay.
lead you out of the building. Because she closes and locks up that room and escorts you up to the top. And kind of salutes you as you leave. And you're out on the street.
Great.
You know, just when you thought you weren't going to have to get back in that boat again, Regan.
I know. I'm not happy about the boat, but I am happy that I knew she was up to no good. Told everyone. Oh, I swear I also have like a fan fiction about this somewhere.
Feeling vindicated?
No, I had out of character. I had such a good idea while you were talking. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great name for one of the fan fictions." But I forgot what you said. Fuck. Well. Oh, I knew it.
I did have a thought, and I don't think it's correct, but it's something we could explore. Do the sewers run underneath of the river?
Yes,
ones
they
the
do.
werewolf-
If you go
live in?
deep enough, yeah.
So perhaps if we didn't want to try to swim across, we could see if there is a sewer passage we could take. See if the werewolf could help us with that. The wererats.
I'm sure it would be no safer than the boat approach, but I do like it for the sake of variety.
It is nice for the variety. And my thing is more that hopefully the sewers wouldn't be entirely flooded, allowing for passage that doesn't require water exposure for Regan's sake.
It's true, but as we've discovered the last couple of times, there are things down there.
There are things
that
down
do not
there.
like us, and
Little poo creatures.
yeah,
Yeah, you
Uh,
imagine it would be slower and smellier, but you do think that the wererats would certainly assist you in that.
Up to you, Regan. You want to be smelly or wet?
Excuse me. I have a very cleanly
Potentially.
feet.
I should say for both of those, that you might not get smelly, you might not get, wet from the water and stuff, so nothing to worry about.
it's gonna be
Oh, my
smelly.
well groomed.
There's 100% chance of smelly.
What does well-groomed do?
I'm gonna say,
You are fastidious about keeping clean. You gain a +2 circumstance bonus to saving throws against diseases. If you roll a success on a saving throw against a disease, you get a crit instead. If you have a different ability to improve, blah blah blah. Yeah, so it's basically it's harder for you to get disease because you're so clean all the time.
habitually
That's
cleaning.
my kitty cat. One of my 2 kitty cat feet. So I won't be stinky, but everyone else will be stinky. Or I won't get sick from being stinky.
Regardless, Mayhem does need to head back to his apartment and pack up things for trying to settle in somewhere closer to the bar. I don't know if it would be better or appropriate to ask if we can just live at your bar for a bit, Felix.
I mean,
But-
we already were more or less during the play.
But hoping to not have to continue that, and yet now we're actually making it worse by actually making it official.
We're probably going to be gone for a week, so if anything, it'll actually be a little easier for everyone else.
That's true.
It's fine.
Then we'll head over and pack up some things, clothes, and has school been happening right now at all?
Not really. No.
I didn't think so, because I was like,
it
I
might
don't
be
think.
getting ready to reopen.
Hopefully, assuming things don't keep going to shit. So, any school supplies that I can find for Listy, hopefully relevant recent school supplies and not things from 4 years ago that I just don't know any better and still think are relevant.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, she already has stuff, so yeah, you could just kind of grab all of
Anything
her
left
stuff
behind that she might not have grabbed because she thought she wouldn't need it. She's gonna need
Are
it
you
now.
doing this as Mayhem, or are you switching back to Tully?
I'll switch back to Tully for this aspect of things.
Okay.
To drop it off at least.
Yeah, I think we all need to do a little bit of prep.
Okay, so do you all go with Mayhem, or do you go do other things in the meantime?
I think we split up. If other people have things to do.
No, I don't think I could stare at Mayhem or Tully doing his packing.
All right. So
Yeah.
Tully, you're doing packing. What is Felix up to?
I'd like to go find a weaponsmith who takes custom orders. I have a thing I'd like to get made.
Okay. So we're gonna do that. Regan, what are you doing?
It's a good question. Everyone is doing horribly boring things, but I also have only horribly boring things to do. I didn't realize how much money I had until now.
Yeah, you got a lot of money.
I was like, I would have done many, many more things if I knew how much money I had. But
Do you have your 500 platinum in there?
I put it in my. I was assuming that since I got it yesterday, I put most of it in the dorm. I don't carry a ton.
Ah, I see. Okay.
As a rule of maybe if someone were to rob me, perhaps they shouldn't have 500
Maybe.
platinum. Yeah. So I put most of it in the dorm. I have no idea what to do.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
I mean, you might just go buy every scroll and wand you've ever wished for, because it feels like we're going to be out of touch for a minute.
Yeah. I might just go looking through scrolls to prepare.
Okay.
in the meantime.
So you head to the academy.
Find some magical things.
Do a little bit of studying and/or finding of scrolls. Felix, you are out in search of a weaponsmith. So this is going to. We talked about this a little bit pre-stream, but you're going to go and cash in your favor, your one request for saving the city.
I know, easy come, easy go. But I would like to. I picked up a trickster's mandolin during my last shopping spree, and it's a fine instrument. Don't get me wrong, but you can't it's a fragile thing. You cannot also use it as a weapon, and I think that is just a problem that needs solving. And I want to seek out a weaponsmith, maybe someone who has a musical sort of background, who can help turn this into a weapon as much as it is a instrument to be cast through.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way. You probably first stop by Nia. She suggests that there are some weaponsmiths who work in the gold market or purvey their wares in the gold market. You might want to talk to them. You make your way over to the gold market. You spend some time asking around. A lot of people aren't quite sure that they could do what you're asking. And because having a staff and a weapon kind of fused together is very difficult, and it's even more difficult for a coda instrument, which is kind of like a staff instrument, to be weaponized in that way. So you're getting a lot of sort of like rejections. People like, I don't know how to do that. I don't think that's possible. But eventually you find a woodworking stall run by a older Shawanti gentleman, long white hair and full braids. The top of his head is bald, but like the sides of his head are like long braided white hair. And he's got an array of wooden kind of sculptures and objects on his table, but also a few instruments. And on a whim, you ask him if he's ever seen such a thing. Well, it's been some time, but I used to be a weaponsmith before I took up woodcrafting. I think I could make such a thing happen. And the workmanship on this, and you like hand him the mandolin to look at. The workmanship on this is fine. I'd have to be careful not to damage the enchantments. But it's very doable, yes, I think. Very doable. I would need to take this back to the camp. If that's alright.
Not a problem.
He looks up at the towards the sun to like gauge the time of day. I could have this finished in some hours, perhaps later tonight.
I would be happy to meet you either here at the camp whenever it's ready. Thank you. I know the request is somewhat is difficult, but I assure you it would be good. It would be for a great cause.
Yes, and if I recall, you're the one who saved my granddaughter, he says, kind of narrowing his eyes at you. You're one of the ones who helped with the cure, are you not?
Yes. Who is your granddaughter? Forgive me.
You have not met her, but I have you to thank all the same. She was on day 6 of the plague when the cure reached her.
I'm just glad we could help. The plague was awful, and the city seemingly barely survived it, only to be thrust into today's events.
Well, then it is time I do something for you. And he kind of stands. If you would mind helping me pack up.
Of course.
And he directs you to kind of like lift the tablecloth and wrap it around the objects on the table, and he kind of takes them and puts them into lock boxes underneath the stand and locks them up. And yes, it should take me about 8 hours or so, but I'll be back here. Meet me then.
I'll meet you here.
All right, and with that, he takes the mandolin and heads off to the thief camp. I don't know if anybody else is doing anything in those 8 hours. 3, 4,
I don't think
6,
so.
7, 8.
Just double checking.
Okay.
Did I end up buying? Was I able to buy potions of quickness?
Oh,
Don't remember if those were available or not. If I just forgot to ask, because I don't have any in my inventory.
Potion of quickness. I don't think you asked.
Which is entirely possible, because I was going to put them on the retrieval belt that was not available. So.
Okay. Yes,
like
you are. You are able to find some in the market. Roll. Roll 2d6.
2d6.
That is how many you are able to find.
4.
All right, there are
We'll
4
buy
available,
all 4.
and they're 90 gold each. And for the audience, potions of quickness are drink it for an action, and you get haste for a minute. They're very handy. Oh yeah, I guess you have 8 hours to kill Felix. So yeah, go ahead.
I happen to have had a weapon potency rune in inventory that I hadn't put on anything.
Okay.
Can I send that away with the mandolin?
Oh, yeah, to put it on the mandolin? Sure.
Yes. Oh, cool. Thank you. That was my only question.
Yeah, he'll transfer that on. Are there any other runes? What potency rune do you have?
It was a +1.
+1. Okay.
Plus, yeah. Aside from that, I need to refresh my supply of healing potions. I basically have like 4 minors left, and I would love to get actually good ones. Like moderates would be great.
Let's see.
Greater if you got them.
So moderate elixirs of life. Lesser elixirs of life and minor elixirs of life are very readily available. Potions of healing or healing potion. What levels are those?
Always have to look them
Raiders not available. It's like healing potion. I feel like it changed. Maybe in the playtest it was potion of healing and then it became healing potion. But I always forget which one's which. Lesser healing potions are definitely available. Moderate. What level is moderate? Moderates are level 6. Yeah, moderates are also available.
Very cool. I
would say no more than 12 of any given type of those potions.
Buy them all.
Yeah, no, 12.
Yeah, you can buy one.
I'm taking 12. 12 healing potion.
Which size?
Moderate.
Okay, yep, you're able to find 12 moderate healing potions for 50 gold each.
Goodbye, 600 gold. Your money well spent.
The lessers are in both Elixir of Life and moderate and healing potion. There's like 24 of those, and then there's probably like 48 of the minors. But yeah, you're able to find potions while you're potions and elixirs while you're in the gold market. Plenty of them for sale, especially now that the plague is much lessened. People are not needing to run out and fill their pockets with any kind of healing item that they can find. In fact, many of them are being returned now that they don't need them anymore.
I will actually pick up, if available, 4 potions of water breathing. Because we're going to be in a sewer does not mean we will not end up underwater.
Yes, you would be able to find 4 potions of water breathing easily enough. You'd either find them at the market or you could find them at the Jagare River supply up north, where you docked your boat.
What other consumables could we need? It's gonna be like leaving the keys behind in the freaking script and scrimshaw again.
I hope you took Prescient Planner so you can just pick it up at random when you need it. It's a great feat
that's
for
actually a question. Does anybody have Prescient Planner?
I do not. I thought about it, but I did not end up taking it.
Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna give everybody Prescient Planner. You can only use it once per day while you're in Old Corvosa.
That's appreciated. I was thinking
Thank
about
you.
that.
We could either try to
so-
metagame our way out of this entire puzzle you've made for us, or that.
Yeah. Because I don't want to take up infinite time browsing shops, I will allow you to. And you've got plenty of money. You had plenty of time to do shopping.
Mhm.
So yeah, once per day you can find. I forget how Prescient Planner exactly works.
It's like up to level 3 common items, non-magical. So adventuring tools like a climbing kit or something like that if we, for some reason, just forgot to bring ours.
Yep.
You still have
So
to
I'll
pay
just-
it, though, so it's not free.
Yeah, you'll have retroactively spent the money, and you will gain the item, and it can't have made you encumbered. But otherwise, yes, you. I'll give you guys, a free Prescient Planner use per day during this chapter.
Oh, thank you.
That would be very useful. Just check in. I'm sure I will think of things much later that I do not have, sadly, but
Yes. I'll also between today, like this session and next session, I'll let you guys also do a bunch of retroactive purchasing. So if there's stuff, so think of stuff between this session and next. If you want to buy anything, you can, we can do rolls for it or find it or whatever, and fill your pockets with goodies.
Well, thank you.
But all right, so Felix, into the day around 10 p.m. or so, you return to the gold market. The market is much calmer now. There are a lot of Grey Maidens about, militantly kind of standing around the stalls, giving off very imposing figures. There seem to be kind of like more. They're definitely more present than the guard has been for a while. And people seem definitely scared of them. They're very imposing. But the old Shawanti gentleman does not seem afraid of them, and he has returned to his stall. He hasn't set everything back up since it's pretty late and not many people are going to be coming by. Most of the vendors that are open are just like food vendors or people who sell like alcohol, that sort of thing.
Of course.
But you find his stall, and yeah, he's there, and he waves. Ah, there you are. It was a tricky little project, but I think you'll enjoy it. And he lays the mandolin on the table. That. And whoop. Delete your existing one and replace it with the Trickster's Battle Mandolin. It's not the most powerful weapon, wielded in one hand, only a D4 damage, but sorry, I was going to say that in character and then realized I was about to speak mechanically. It's basically a combination of the Trickster's Mandolin and the Battle Lute. It's a two-hand weapon, so you can, if you use it one hand, it's D4 of damage. Two-handed, it's D8 base damage. It's got the +1 rune, and he also managed to find a striking rune. So he's put a striking rune on there for you.
Fancy.
And yeah, otherwise you can use it as either a one-hand or two-hand weapon, and you can use it for its spells as before. Should you wish to, it's currently a greater, I think, Trickster's Mandolin, and if you want to upgrade it later, once you hit the appropriate level for it, you can bring it back to this guy, and he will update the enchantments for you to
Thank
the
you.
higher level version, and give it more spells. Truly, it was a pleasure.
This is truly a work of art. Thank you, and I'll do my best to protect Corvosa with it.
I hope to hear one of your songs with this someday.
You're always welcome to come by the Script and Scrimshaw. Maybe one evening I'll get brave enough and play.
Yes, perhaps I'll bring my daughter along. Oh, granddaughter along, rather. Oh, my daughter, too. She's still alive. But off you go. I should get back home to said granddaughter.
Of course. Thank you again.
Good luck out there. Alright. And you walk away with a upgraded mandolin.
Finally, my character arc toward El Kabal is well on its way.
And initially you rejected all of the character art that had a mandolin or a lute.
100%. Like I now I've come around to it.
We'll make you a proper bard yet. All right. Yeah, anybody else got anything? I guess Mayhem, it doesn't take you terribly long to pack, so you're probably back at the Script and Scrimshaw explaining things to Lizzie.
Yeah, going over what's happened and where we're going to be settling in for now, just to be on the safe side with things going down outside the way that they have been.
And I think there's 3 spare rooms. I mean, spare. They're for guests, but basically no one. Like, there hasn't been there have barely been any people visiting Corvosa since the king's death, given the state of everything. So those rooms have largely just gone unused. You've maybe had 1 or 2 people stay for a day or 2 at a time, but they're not really going to cost you anything to loan them out to friends. So yeah, you 2 of the rooms you can give out to Lizzie and Tully, unless you want 1 room together.
It'll probably
Lizzie
be better.
doesn't.
I was gonna, yeah, that's fair actually. No, that's a fair point. So we'll take 2.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's probably not gonna matter because Tully's gonna be busy for a little while, but yeah, she can have her own room. She's old enough, I guess.
All right.
I did actually want to check in with Nia to follow up on her friend Thalario.
Oh yeah.
Kid who had come by and was asking about gender changing potions or things. Mostly I wanted to know if she was aware that Thalario's sister had joined the Grey Maidens, and if Thalario had mentioned anything about the Grey Maidens in the past.
Oh. That would certainly make sense. I hadn't realized that that's what he was talking about. He spoke in vagaries.
Mm-hmm.
Now what's the boy gone and done? You don't think he's trying to sneak in, do you?
I do. It might be to check in on his sister if he hasn't heard back from her in some time, or it might be for any other reason. I'm not sure, but if he's been successful in finding what they were looking for, then yeah, he might be undercover right now, and that might be a concern.
That's a scary prospect. She sighs and looks towards the window. Thank you for finding that out for me. At least I know he's not hurt. At least not now. if you happen to find him,
I'll let you know, and I'll make sure that he's safe if I can. Him and his sister.
good. Thank you for looking into it.
I think that was it. Just wanted to check in with her about that. Yep, that'll do it for now.
Sorry, I was glancing at something. Nah, it's fine. Okay.
Somebody.
Yeah, from now on, you have a 10% discount at the Gilded Knight.
Oh. Well, that is nice.
Here, I'll make a discount card. Gilded Knight discount card. Treasure. Priceless. Good for 10% off all purchases at the Gilded Knight. There you go. Alright.
Well, thank you. Just stacking up discounts and favors.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
I guess we never did check at the armory at the Citadel to see if there was anything there, but
I mean, you're welcome to, but I hate to imagine what has happened in the moments after.
well, I wish we had done that before the Queen had made her announcements, now that I think about it. In fact, it may be a good idea to go now before they get into it too far.
You should go.
I'm now thinking, oh, I just don't know what I'd want, or if they even would have what I'd want. Where's
Maybe
my
they
list?
would have like a prototype nightstick, one they were never brave enough to send out into the dark.
Maybe they've got gnome flick maces, or that shifting rune that I was looking for. I don't know. I don't know what they would have, so I'm not going to do it right now. But that would be a thought that crosses my mind of, well, if we're going to do it, we may want to do it before the Queen's Guard decides that they are going to claim everything. And
I mean,
for
it's
themselves.
basically you can ask for something, any kind of martial thing,
Okay.
and they'll probably say yes. So, yes, if you wanted the shifting rune that bad, you could go there and get it.
I kind of do. It makes things a lot easier to just be able to shift from one thing to another.
A nightstick forged. The strongest wood.
Yes, the strongest nightstick.
It's basically
Yeah,
the favor, but for gear.
Right, for that specific item. Yeah, I think I am going to see if they have a shifting rune in stock. If they have two, that'd be even better, but I would take one if they have one.
So yeah, you make your way to the Citadel, wondering if you could take up Cressida on her offer. And you do find her in her office, and speak to her, and
As often we do.
she's, you've come at a good time. I hear the Queen's coming to empty the place out tomorrow, so
Oh dear.
come on,
Do you-
I'll escort you.
Do you want me coming back to serve, or should I just wait for you to call me back up? It feels weird, but I don't like the idea of not doing my job. Even if it's not my job, I guess.
She like stood up and is like thinking about it. Come in when you can. There's still work to be done, and I don't think the Grey Maidens are taking up firefighting duties anytime soon, so there's at least that, but
No, kidding. Hopefully the riots don't get out of hand if they've got good grip on things, though. They still worry me.
I hear that they dealt with the riot in the square fairly successfully.
Do I read brutally in that successfully?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Tully's a little quiet as he's processing that on their way to the armory.
You're looking for something transforming, right?
Yeah, just something more to on the road when the fire axe isn't needed. There may be other things that can be useful.
I think we still have some runes here, and she makes her way to like a big, one of those like map drawers, like the really wide drawer that you would pull out. There's like a big map in it. Instead, it's like she pulls it out, and there's like rows of these like wood slats with like cups kind of carved into them. And each cup is like a little cloth, and there's like in some of the holes there's like a rune stone. Let me see. And some of them have labels, some of them don't, and many of them are empty. Yeah, here, this one, I think. And she picks up one that's got like a little shifting label attached to it, and she looks it over. Yeah, that looks right. And she hands it to you.
Mayhem takes it and thanks her kindly.
And here. And she grabs another one and passes it to you.
Oh. I
It
I'd
is not the
appreciate it.
same kind of rune.
Oh. This is... Are you sure, Commander?
It's better off in your hands than the Grey Maiden's, she says.
Yes.
And you look, and it's a more powerful version of a striking rune, a greater striking rune.
Ooh. That would be very nice and useful. Well, thank you again. And Mayhem will excuse himself and see about getting these applied at some point. Now I need to figure out where they go.
Since you were doing this earlier in the day, you could still find somebody who could
Yeah, I'm
do
sure
it,
that
and
we can arrange that. for the
probably
rest
get
of
it
the day.
done by the end of the day. So maybe around 9 p.m. or so, you head back to maybe Slicing Dicers. They typically do rune transfers like this, so yeah, you're able to get it transferred for you. And since it's on a runestone, they just kind of do it for free.
Easy enough. So we'll do that, and we'll also apply the greater striking while we're at it to the same weapon, which is the nightstick.
So now a shifting as a +1 greater nightstick.
It is a
Greater
it is a
striking
+2 greater
+2.
striking, crushing, shifting nightstick. So when it's not a nightstick, it is something else. In fact, usually Mayhem has it in when he's as Tully. He'll just shift it to his fire axe at that point.
All right.
You have to keep adding words to it.
It does. If you every time you add a thing, it becomes a +2 greater striking, crushing, shifting nightstick. Versus my +2 striking, decaying, serrating bastard sword.
I love the rune system. It's so silly.
Mhm. Could give it
okay.
a name, I guess.
Probably could. Anything for you, Regan?
I'll probably be pretty fast because most of mine's gonna be retroactive,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna deal with it later. But
Okay.
buying a bunch of scrolls, most of them are common. I have 2 that are uncommon.
Okay, those we'll need to search for.
So, how
What are they?
that? It's mutilate level 4, peaceful bubble level 4. Ring.
Mutilate and peaceful bubble. Let me see what these do. Reading. Mutilate's cutting yourself?
Yeah, take 1d4 to give someone else more damage.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Where's this from? Oh, I see. It's one of the APs, okay. And then Peaceful Bubble. I'm gonna say you don't find Peaceful Bubble, but you do find Mutilate.
And for the uncommon spells, they have a higher.
Higher DC to learn, yeah.
So I might actually have to roll for Mutilate.
Okay. It's a +2 on the DC. For uncommon, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is the only one I have to roll.
Alright, give it a roll.
Whee! That should be more than enough.
Number?
34.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Let me see if it's a crit success. This is a 4th rank spell. Default's 23, so 24, 25. You're just shy of a crit success, so spend the normal amount.
Cool.
Which for a 4th rank spell is 36 gold.
Oh, yeah, it's half.
Yeah, you're able to find Mutilate in the dark recesses of the Academy's library.
I'm just gonna half that. And I won't make everyone sit through me plugging all these in and doing numbers. But
Yeah, that's fine.
pretty much
Okay.
bought a bunch of stuff and learned it.
Tons of spells, learning a lot of spells. Just your room is like a mess of paper.
I still have so much money. Yeah, I was like, I can't afford all these spells. Now I can.
And are you copying your spells into Rolf's old spellbook?
Oh, I forgot I could do that.
Do you want it to be Rolf's old spellbook?
Well,
And
really,
his
it's Regan's
has
new
the
spellbook.
The special baby. What's it called?
Special ability thing.
Yeah, he's a little special ability that I don't have. So I guess I should copy everything technically into his book.
Yeah, I'll hand wave like you're spending plenty of time learning spells and stuff, so I'll just hand wave the transfer of spells over if you want.
Yeah, and his
But
is still like the endless one, right? Or is it?
Sorry, what?
Is
Oh, his is
lim-
not endless.
Yeah,
His is. Yeah, his is limited. I forget how big a spellbook is normally.
Like 100 entries, I think. It's pretty sizable usually.
Oh yeah, spellbook can hold 100 spells.
I'm gonna say I'm not copying. I'm gonna say I'm gonna use his as in a special case scenario.
Okay.
I'll go over that later. I might put certain things in here, but I don't think I'm putting everything in here. So I'm just gonna say
Okay.
I'm putting in a normal spellbook for now.
Oh, yeah, is your normal spellbook an endless grimoire?
It is.
Ah, okay. Yes, that would have a reason to to keep using that one.
Yeah. I'm gonna shove everything to it. I might theme his book with stuff that's not in there though. But
Yes, you can. I'll allow you to copy. Like you can have whatever spells that you know in either or both books is fine.
Okay.
And just when you prepare from, if you prepare from one book or the other, that's when you get the powers of the other. So let me know if you're picking a day where you're preparing from Clavum Mortis.
I'll do my best. If I don't say I am, assume I'm not.
Yes,
go.
that is my assumption. Is that unless you
Alright.
told me that you were.
I will very purposefully go for it if I want.
Cool. It is a creepy flesh book.
I love the creepy flesh.
Woo.
All right. Felix, Mayhem, you regroup back at the Script and Scrimshaw. Lizzie's settled into her room. Tace has probably gone home for the night. Shield from Flame has also returned home. What do you guys do?
It's late, but I'm good to go if we want to take off tonight.
I think the cover of darkness might not be the worst of ideas, and we do
Should
need to
we
go
be-
ask the werefolk if they're going to help us.
I was going to say, we should definitely establish that we actually have their assistance before we just assume that we can just walk through their sewers, but
Indeed.
hopefully they'll be all right with that. So we'll head over towards the sewers entrance and see if we can make contact.
Yeah,
What was-
we can do that while we wait for Regan to show.
Crawl down.
Oh yeah, are you doing it before Regan gets here, or
Oh, I guess we should wait for Regan.
summoning
huh?
Regan? Either way.
Or- no, we can make contact and we
Doesn't
can just make
matter
sure that
either.
that they will work with us on this first,
Yeah,
and then
I,
once Regan's here, we can actually go out.
I definitely think if Mayhem shows up and asks nicely and says we'll come back later, we'll have an easier time.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Gonna ask nicely, as we do.
Are you showing up as Mayhem or as Tully?
I'll show up as Mayhem.
So you, the two of you, make your way towards the Midland Sewers entrance that you've used before, and you find Ares Yellow Eyes sitting outside in her were-rat form. Do I have her were-rat form here? Yeah. Oh, I thought I did. There we go. In her were-rat form, she's talking with another were-rat just outside the sewers. Seems like they feel like more comfortable just kind of being themselves out on the street now.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Thanks to your efforts to help ingratiate them with the city. And yeah, you tell them of your needs, your desire to get into Old Corvosa. Yes, I think we could arrange that. It shouldn't be a problem for us at all. No. You'll need a guide, yes, but it can be done. It can be done. It may take some time.
How long do you think it will take? Do you know?
The route to get to Old Corvosa, it is deep. I imagine it could take a few hours from here.
That sounds fine. I was worried it was going to be more like a couple of days, so shouldn't think it takes a
no.
couple of days, but can't say for certain.
Only if you did not have a guide and you got lost, perhaps. But with one of us to guide you, it should not be a problem.
Well, thank you.
Just do not touch any of the trash or the excrement.
We will do our best. I certainly wasn't intending to.
Good. Well, she gestures to the were-rat she was talking to. They will be your guide when you return.
Wonderful. It'll be a little bit before we get back. Waiting for Regan, as you recall. But
Will you need
once she's
them to help you back, or
No, just getting there will be enough.
very well? And she makes her way back over to that were-rat, like explains to him the situation, and then makes her way into the sewers herself.
all right.
And he kind of like waves at you happily. And then he goes and sits by the sewer entrance.
Pleasant enough fellow.
We'll be an hour or two.
However long it takes for Regan to finish up whatever she needs to do.
I need to go draw a door in the time between.
Yes, we should probably establish that beforehand. It was the black one stays and the white one is the more temporary.
Correct. The black one will stay a week. The white one an hour. A day.
All right.
A day.
Well,
Reading
let's
comprehensions.
do some art.
But
right.
yeah, we'll head back.
Where in the Script and Scrimshaw would you like to place your black door?
Tully's closet.
No, so when up in my
Got it.
office,
Yeah.
you have to open the door to like get into the room. So behind my own door.
Let's see.
Why wouldn't you place the white door down?
I'm gonna open and read because I'm not
So,
gonna.
Let's make sure we
I
get
would
this
place
correct.
the white door down in a place you can access the most because you can redraw the white door.
But we're going to be gone to not be able to redraw it here.
I
so
see what you're saying.
yeah, we want to
you-
establish it first, and then temporary. Long term, I think you're right, though. Long
Yeah,
term,
so
we would want
there's-
to put the black door someplace else, and the white door we can just redraw it whenever we need to.
Yeah, the way it works is you have two doors you can draw: black door, white door. Black door will stick around for a full week at a time. You could always touch it up to reset it, but it'll stick around for a week without updating it. The white door only sticks around for 24 hours, so you need to draw it and then redraw it if you need to go back to that same spot more than 24 hours later. The doors stick around for their allotted time periods. You can only have one door active at a time. If you draw a new door, it erases the previous door of that color. When doors get erased, they leave behind slight residues. Somebody could tell if they were looking closely that there was a door drawn there. They might not be able to tell what it was for or why, but they could tell. And yeah, you can warp between the two. The doors are only visible while somebody is within while the wielder of the wooden case is within 5 feet of the door, or of one of the two doors. So when you step next to one, both get revealed. And yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. It's used for, the idea is probably that you would put the black door at your home base, and then white door goes in like a alley or something, like some temporary place that you plan to come back to after like going home to rest and coming back. And yes, both types of doors, you can redraw the same door on top of itself. That's fine. That would just reset the timer on it.
Like quickly pop out before the 24 hours and redraw the other door and pop back in.
Yeah.
Could be done.
Sorry,
but yeah,
Bruce,
I would go up to my office and put the door in my own office.
All right. Yep, you have your office space here. Fairly simple little office, and you draw you take 10 minutes, draw the elaborate door on the wall. I just want to mark it for myself. Sorry, so I remember
It's
that's
okay.
here.
I
Okay.
too was looking through all the things that I could use to mark it. Like that's the most reasonable.
I'll use that. And then maybe I'll go find a token or something. I never use tokens in Foundry. I should figure out how they work. They're slightly annoying. Okay, so you got a black door drawn there. You can now use it to warp back anytime within the next week.
Oh, good.
So what's next?
Hopefully, Regan would arrive at a plot relevant moment.
Maybe. Regan has learned papers everywhere. Her head pops up and all the papers fall out. She's like, oh, I had something to do.
What was it, though?
Oh, she does remember what it was. She's like, oh, right. Oh, look at the time. And so she'll make her way. She kind of like, oh, she can organize her stuff. She organizes it with her wand and then heads down
You're getting a lot of use of that quick sort wand.
I love quick sort. Like, you think it's a useless spell? Absolutely not. Perfect spell. Here's my wand.
Hey, it's handy. I like it.
I love
okay.
really handy spells. Here, I can use
So sometime after you guys return to the script and scrimshaw, Regan shows up. Still kind of she's got like a scroll in hand, reading through it. Other hand copying it into a book.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Regan. How are you?
My brain is filled with knowledge. How are you?
Not as knowledgeable, but we at least have secured passage to Old Corvosa, so we're accomplished. Or something.
Is it the boat or the...
It's
The tunnels.
drier than a boat.
It is less likely to get one completely submerged in water than a boat. It may smell slightly worse, though.
You know what? I'm in. Maybe I'll regret it. Maybe I'll like the boat after this experience. But right now, this seems like a happier choice. Even though
We
it's
have to try it
food.
first, and then we can determine if it's the worst option. But until we've actually tried it, but we won't know. Are we set? Or do we want to wait until another day? I don't know why we would, but
I think we're set. I might bring a cheese plate for our guide, but other than that, we'll get out the door.
Yeah, I think that.
do they like cheese?
Remember when Ares came to the script and scrimshaw? She asked for...
I mean, she does, but I try not to assume that they all like cheese.
That's fair.
That said, I don't know many people who would turn down a plate of cheese, so I think it's a fair offering regardless.
I would eat the cheese.
Who doesn't like cheese?
Right? The lactose intolerant, but they should really
yeah.
try to be more tolerant of cheese.
All of my lactose intolerant friends are like, I still ate the cheese. And I'm like, why? It's good.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's good.
No.
I'm like mildly lactose intolerant, but I'll still eat cheese.
Oh my god.
Most adults
But
are.
cheese doesn't affect me though.
Usually
just
the
like
aging gets
full
rid of
milk.
enough of the
Yeah.
lactose to not be a problem. So
Yeah.
as long as it's been aged a little bit, a couple of months is usually enough, but the more it's aged, the better. Or less problematic.
I agree, chat. We don't give in to lactose intolerance.
Just eat all the cheese. That's later use problem.
The best place to get a sandwich is a cheese shop. Pro tip.
Fair point.
A cheese sandwich. I love cheese shops. We can't get on this topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
We could talk about cheese for a while, but I feel like we're supposed to be going into a sewer, so
Yeah, you can
something
go to the
slightly
sewer.
less appetizing.
All right. Well, you go find your guide, who's sitting there. He spots you and waves eagerly again. Hey guys! Hey guys! Hey!
Hello.
You're the ones I'm supposed to take, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for guiding us.
And Felix has a gift for you, I guess. If you're hungry.
Oh, I'm always hungry. Yeah. What do you got? What do you got? And he like starts rubbing his hands.
A snack for as we're walking. I'll hand him a little
Oh,
pouch.
who's as we're walking?
Okay, that was my
How are,
misassumption.
how are we getting there then? What's
How
the
are
best
we
way to-
getting there?
Yeah.
What? He looks confused.
We're going through the sewers, right? To get to Old Corvosa?
Yeah, but who's the gift for?
You.
I thought you said the gift was for who's as we're walking.
Forgive the confusion. The gift is for you.
Oh, okay. Gift.
I'll hand it
He takes the plate of cheese and just starts devouring it.
was going to suggest making that last, but fair enough. All right.
And after about a minute of him just devouring that plate of cheese,
Going ahead.
That was good. Thanks, boss.
Never a problem.
Where with that never?
All right. Yep. Come on, follow me.
and he scurries on all fours into the sewer.
Oh.
Clambering down the ladder.
Gonna go be a little slower, but we will fall right behind.
All right. And with the guidance of your were-rat friend, whose name I had in mind, and now I've forgotten what I had in mind.
Henri.
No, he's not fancy enough for that.
Henry.
Hank.
You don't like Henri, we can be just Hank.
Remy?
Why is Regan moving so much slower than everyone else when I travel
I am
the party?
heavy.
Are
with
you carrying
knowledge.
stuff? Are you are you overburdened?
I don't know. Okay, it's working now. I don't know.
Reagan's just got all of her books and is plodding along. through the sewers.
Because I'm just constantly putting spells into plastic. I've been doing it this whole time.
You just
Okay, you're-
mage hand holding up one book while you're like otherwise scribbling, and the other hand just following along, trying to work.
I got it. Well, I have my mage hand holding my book.
So he would ask you where you're trying to go, or like where would you like him to bring you?
I don't remember what the interior of this walled section is in the kind of northwestern parts of Old Corvosa. Is
This
that
part-
Garrison Hill?
this-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Garrison Hill. That's basically old Fort Corvosa was the interior of this wall back when the city was first formed.
Because I remember that Orsini Academy is there, so I would expect to see Bencarlo in that vicinity. Did we get an address for his actual home from? Cressida?
Yes, I didn't say
Okay.
that, but yes,
figured.
she gave you the address of his academy, which you already knew, and she'd give you the address for his house, which is not very far from there. It's like down the street.
Great.
In fact, let me go ahead and mark it here. Where's my RC Academy?
No one wants to commute very far to work.
I will. Carlos house. Alright, it's more over there.
In the middle of a street.
Sorry, maybe slightly further
So-
down, but
I think then that would be if he can get us all the way in there, that would be great to Garrison Hill, but just outside would be fine too.
Yeah, I think I can get us to Garrison Hill. Just follow me and just watch out for any splinters.
Okay. We'll be keeping an eye out for splinters.
all right. You guys spend the next few hours, so it's 11 p.m. We'll go like 12, 1, 2. Trudging through the massive tunnel network beneath the city. Sometimes going deeper, sometimes going higher. You're down there so long, you kind of lose track of even what direction you're going in. But the were-rat seems to know, and he's moving with this like clear purpose and intention. He doesn't seem to be lost in the slightest, which is good because this big network of tunnels and passageways, some of which are more cavern-like, others are clearly more constructed sewer. Others feel almost like ancient dungeons and ruins than anything else, and probably existed from well before the city was ever constructed. You imagine you would very easily get lost in here and might never ever see the light of day. But eventually, I was going to do this. Give me reflex saves.
Oh, exciting.
Save against splinters.
Cool.
Lots of numbers.
Right. At 29.
24, 20, 29.
Mhm.
I think those are all successes. This should be that. Yes, those are all successes. So as you're trudging along, he's like warning you to be careful about various things, and you're passing through one particular passageway that's it's a lot of like stone walls. There's like wooden scaffolding holding everything up, and he stops and like puts out a hand. Oh, I hear splinters. And you pause and you start to hear it too, the sound of like cracking wood. And he turns and starts to like bolt back the way you came. Come! And the three of you like turn and run after him and dive up a passageway that like a ramp that goes like pretty steeply up. And you all make it just in time. Regan first, then Felix, and then Mayhem, just as a huge surge of nasty like water just comes barreling down the hall, splashing you a bit, Mayhem. But the other two, you managed to completely avoid it. There's a strong stench in the air. That's sort of amplified. Like there's been a stench down here the entire time, but it's much stronger after that big wave of sludge. But since those were all successes, you're all totally fine. You maybe need to clean your cape a bit, but otherwise it's not a problem.
Yay. I think.
And around 3 a.m., you arise. The were-rat pushes a sewer manhole cover up, slides it to the side, and you kind of pop out of a street, and it only takes you a moment to kind of get your bearings and see that you are just outside of Endron Academy on the east side of Garrison Hill.
Well, thank you, Hank, was it? What was the name?
Hark.
Hark.
Not Hank.
Sorry, Hark. I misheard. My apologies. I appreciate it, Hark. We'll be able to find our own way back, so just be safe getting back.
All right. Have fun. And thanks for the food.
And he dips back into the sewer, slides the manhole cover over, and with a thud, metal clang, disappears into the darkness.
He was a
You
nice
three,
fellow.
meanwhile, are standing on the streets. There's a sense of kind of like unease in the air. You smell like smoke. Yeah, just kind of a tinge of smoke. You look around, you can see various like small streams of smoke coming from various directions. Some are beyond the garrison wall. A few others are within the city proper. You can, from where you are, you can see down the main gateway, main entranceway of Garrison Hill, and you can see down into what is this district called? Bridgefront. And you can see groups of gathered torches. looks like maybe squads of people moving together,
Boy.
banding together in torchlight.
We're going to want to keep the shadows as much as we can. Are any of us good at stealth? I'm gonna guess not.
Let's find out. It could be worse.
Yeah, it's not 0.
That is better. Let's try and make our way to the academy and see if we can keep out of sight of these roving groups of people. I'd rather not get caught in confrontation unless we have to. And I'm worried that that's what they're out and about doing at 3 o'clock in the morning with torches.
I
Okay.
wonder if they even know that Bloodveil's been cured.
It's hard to know. You're not sure if any cure managed to actually make its way here. You hope so, but given the quarantine, it's not super likely.
We'll try and get to the academy and make contact with Carlo.
Okay.
Fixing this place is going to be a project.
So, you're all doing this stealthily. You don't have to roll stealth here, but I'll just use your kind of passive stealth in case anybody's searching for you.
Yeah. We'll
What's
keep the
your
shadows.
marching order like?
I'll be behind.
Okay, Regan and back.
Yeah, I think I'll be leading the way. I don't know if we've all been to the academy before. I know I have.
I think so.
Yes, you've all been there.
I thought I wasn't sure if we all went together or not, but yeah. So we've been.
Yep. All right. So you try to stick to the shadows as you make your way down the main thoroughfare, ducking into alleys and sticking to side streets where you can. You do see a band of looks like 4 guys. They've got shields, axes at their shields on their backs, axes at their belts, maybe like hatchets. And they're laughing. Some of them have like drinks in their hands. But the torch in the offhand, sort of chattering loudly to each other as they pass by. You're not sure what about.
Can we listen in for a moment? I had thought this an angry mob. This sounds like a drunken mob. Those are different kinds of mob.
Sure, yeah. Do you stick around and try to listen to it?
I would hold this for a moment unless Mayhem tries to override.
I mean, if you're wanting to stop for a reason, Mayhem's going to at least stop to respect what you're stopping for.
Yeah, I would find a moment when we are well hidden and try and listen about what they're. I would like to gain some insight as to why are they torching the city. It has enough problems.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to the Emperor's place. Oh yeah, I hear he's got some good stuff tonight. That Emperor, he's one hell of a guy. I'm so glad he's on our side.
And they keep as they're passing by, yeah, they're talking about some emperor with some level of reverence.
Is this like an Emperor of San Francisco sort of deal, do you think?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you
You've
haven't
never heard
the
of
Emperor
Emperor
San-
Norton?
Apparently not.
Our Grand Emperor Norton of San Francisco.
He was our Western always king. I'm at.
Oh, okay. I'm not San Franciscan enough, despite living here.
I mean, he's not around any longer. This was back in
Okay.
the early 1900s, I think. It was a long time ago.
Oh,
But some guy
okay.
basically went around, declared himself emperor, and just people were like, okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah, the city went.
And he would issue his own currency, and people would actually take it in exchange for certain things because they were just kind of humoring him for a while.
All right.
I don't think it's that. I don't. It's starting to sound
Yeah.
like he has a little bit more power than this other emperor did.
I would like. Can I do a society check to see if I can like? Does an emperor hop to mind aside from Norton?
Sure, yeah.
Traditionally.
Society check, please.
Question marks.
Yeah, you're fairly certain you've never heard of any like figures of significant power in the city called the Emperor. You think kind of hard about it, and like you don't recall any like criminal underlords with that title or any kind of weird organizations that run by that name. It's news to your ears. Corvosa's only had kings. And queens. I think 2 queens in its history.
I guess some new form of power has risen with this section of the city being cut off. I would wait for the rioters to pass and then signal to Mayhem we can move on.
Yeah, they stumble on, they don't seem to notice you. And as you sneak closer to Orsini Academy, you realize that some of that like smoky smell that you've been smelling is getting a bit stronger. And as you get closer, you see that the academy's not there anymore.
Oh,
Fuck.
The fence is still standing, but the trees in the yard are all like burnt to a crisp. The main building has there's like a bit of stone wall left standing, but the wooden roof has caved in, charred to ash. This place has been set ablaze. Not tonight, but some previous.
Shit.
yeah.
Shit. Mayhem will start making his way around. I mean, he'll pick through the wreckage very briefly just to see if he can get an idea of how long ago this was, and are there any obvious signs of anybody else in the rubble versus just it being the building itself that went down. But it'll be a very brief look before moving on to Vincarlo's place. Make sure he's okay.
So you like hop the fence and make your way stealthily towards the rubble of the house and look around to try to see if you can spot anything of note, any bodies in the ashes. Give me a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
This is a relatively quick search.
Yeah, question marks.
Okay. Your eyes dart around, examining each, like all the sort of major points of ingress and where you remember major rooms to be, and thankfully, there don't seem to be any bodies amidst the ashes. There's no suspicious lumps. It's possible that maybe somebody has gotten crushed under here. You haven't taken the time to like lift out all the broken pieces of roof and everything, but at a quick glance, it doesn't look like anybody has died here.
That's good. It's reassuring, but okay. Then I'm gonna start leading us towards Vincarlo's house just down the road here.
Okay. You speed walk through the night towards Vincarlo's house.
This I'm less familiar with. I don't think we've been here, so we're just looking for wherever this address is. to see if
No,
hopefully it's
you've
also
been
not
to
burned down?
the you've been to his dojo or
Mhm.
the academy rather.
Yeah.
But you've never actually been to his like home proper. And let's see. If you would like to put your tokens on this map, I would love that. Okay. And you're kind of approaching from
Why would the game cooperate?
east. Let me maybe set the light outside slightly more than that, so you can actually see a little bit. Energy and vision adjust in darkness. Maybe that won't work. Here, I'll put a light down and make it very dim. Doo-doo-doo. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but you'll see it soon enough. Calm down.
Important things. Important things are happening in the background, I'm sure.
Turns out that there's just a really complicated entrance to this place.
There is. It's one of those situations where there's like 12 locks and you have to undo each of those locks individually before you can even get inside. He's really paranoid.
He was right to lock the door this much.
He's not wrong. You're right. Absolutely. Like, they burned down his academy. They've probably come for him at his home. I don't know who they are, but probably whoever serves this emperor person. I hope it is Emperor Norton. I hope we're here just to kill Emperor Norton specifically.
I don't want it to be Emperor Norton. I want it to be like his doppelganger. Because Emperor Norton was at least chaotic good force.
Emperor Norton was a real one, you know?
Okay, so you guys approach the his house from the east along the main road. You can see that it's not the largest dwelling, but it's like pretty sizable, and it's kind of like an L-shaped building, like an L lying on its side. There's a second story, but that second floor is like half of the building's size. If that makes sense. And that the side that's bigger is on here. It'd be the west side of the house, is where it has like the second floor on it. The east side of the house is only one floor. But you can see the front door here. It's dark outside. All you've got is the moonlight, which is fairly dim because I think it's like a waning crescent or something. Maybe it's a waxing crescent. I think it's a waxing crescent. But
Yeah, it looks like it's waxing. All right.
is that yes, you can see though the lights like there doesn't seem to be any light coming from the windows on the first floor. You do spot there's a window up on the second floor around here on the west side of the building. And you can see like a faint like flickering, maybe a torch, maybe something like that. There's a light on in there on the second floor.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to just knock, or should we try and break in?
Let's do the polite thing first, then do the burgle thing. I think he'd be happy to see us.
I would agree normally. Mayhem is going to grab a couple of bottles off of his belt and start downing some potions.
Yummy.
He will start with a dark vision elixir so he can actually see for a little while. And then he will also down his eagle eye elixir to check for secret doors and traps.
Okay. Sippy sippy. The dark vision lasts for an hour. How long does the eagle eye?
I believe it's also an hour. Yes, for the next hour. So both will be for an hour.
Okay. So Felix approaches the door. Mayhem just behind, and Regan behind that.
It really is a shame that cat folk do not have dark vision naturally.
Yes, that's interesting.
It's
Do they
so
at least have a feat
baffling.
probably for it, right?
You can upgrade
no?
it, I'm sure, or get a heritage maybe.
You know, I should look, but I don't remember seeing anything. That doesn't mean it's not there because I don't often see things.
I would assume that they'd have a feat for it, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
That's fair. I don't know.
The cats are always roaming around at night. I guess they fall into stuff though.
My cats get into
Um,
trouble more often than not. But
Okay, Felix, you're at the door. What do you do?
knock, not like trying to bang the door down, but politely.
You politely knock at the door a few times. A few minutes pass. But
Nothing.
no one seems to answer. You don't hear anything from inside. No reaction.
Looking up the window, does the light or the flickering change at all? Yeah,
You
step back.
stare at it the entire time and no, doesn't seem like it.
And just as importantly, it's not growing or getting bigger or anything while we're
Nope.
standing here. Okay, just constant. Good. Not like somebody lit a fire inside and it's growing while we're standing out here humming and hawing. Okay.
Is anyone a good thrower? Hit it with a pebble.
I am not a good thrower.
Do you want to just see if one of the windows is open? Or just try the door?
I mean, I don't want to burn my ability to walk up there at the beginning of the evening again.
I'm
I mean,
gonna
there are other-
knock on the
Are there other
door.
windows? Is it just the second story?
Ooh,
That windows?
I didn't do
Sorry, that was me clicking on
it.
it. Chat can't can't hear that, but I accidentally clicked on the door.
It does seem that the door is
What was
locked, in
that?
fact,
Is
from it
it
randomly jiggling in the...
Oh, if you try to
Right there.
jiggle the lock, no, you can tell that the door is not locked.
It's not locked.
Oh. That doesn't bode well for someone whose academy was burned down. I would be locking so many doors.
Yeah, if you take your hand to the handle and start to twist it, yeah, you can feel there's give. It's not locked.
That's great. Is there a trap the moment that we
Yeah.
open the door?
I am not opening that door. I may have tested the doorknob, but I'm not opening that door.
Oh.
I'm gonna let Mayhem complete his trap check.
Yeah, let me take a look, see if we can determine anything obvious. Or
And I
less
think
obvious, hopefully.
sending Majenko up to go look in that window would be a great idea.
Oh yeah, that I can do that in the meantime.
Oh, sure.
Can go peek
Yeah, let me
all the way over.
Majenko up to the. Majenko can kind of peek through the window. Can't see a whole lot, because there was a curtain blocking the way. But through the gap in the curtain, he can see that there is a fireplace that is currently lit. And there are 2 training dummies on either side of the fireplace. Clearly this is some kind of training room because there's also a rack of various weapons set to the side, and then there's a door to the right. There's also a hallway, maybe some stairs in the back of that room. Yeah, Majenko would fly back to you and say everything I just said.
Cool. Well, there's no people, but there's a lit fireplace.
There's also some windows around the first floor that you can actually go peek into if you wish.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, well, I can't even see.
Oh,
He can
hold on,
actually
I-
see. I can't.
One
I
second.
just realized.
I didn't mean to have fog exploration on. I never liked that. Turn that off.
I'm gonna. Oops.
Okay. There we go.
Keep her over here. 'Cause he can see. He has dark vision.
Yep. Majenko peeks into one of the rooms. Looks like a study. There's no one in there though.
there?
There's another
There we-
window around the right-hand side.
Flies over.
An entrance hall, I think. There's a big rug. Oh, it looks like maybe there's another fire lit down here at the far side.
Ooh. Yeah. Is this a window? Yes.
There's another window there.
Maybe some kind of workshop. There's a lot of weapons and an anvil and some tools.
Is there one more? How many more?
You can keep flying around the back. There's another window that also looks into that same room.
Okay.
And then a final window which looks it's a bit higher up and is on a landing for the staircase that goes up to the second floor.
So weird. There's like nobody back in there, but the fire is lit. I'll stand back as Mayhem looks for traps.
Sorry, Mayhem, you were looking for traps?
Yes, we're checking to make
Okay.
sure that when we open the door, we're not going to get shot by a bolt or something.
Yeah, perception check.
Sure thing. Question marks.
You kind of feel out the handle a bit, adjust the door slightly. Doesn't seem like there's any kind of tension on it. Yeah, it doesn't. It seems like the door should be fine.
Okay. Well, checking around, we will open the door.
The door swings open, and before you is a dark room. There's a fine Voudran rug on the ground, lining the entryway. And up ahead, there's a nice wooden door. Around the hall to the left, around the corner to the left, appears to be a hallway, and there's a couple of pairs of shoes on your right hand side. You think they're probably Van Carlo's. They look like his,
Okay.
but probably just some spare pairs.
Not,
Maybe one of his current pairs. You're not sure.
so not exactly determinative if he's here or not. Then we're going to draw our nightstick. We don't have it in hand already, and start to creep inside. Carefully looking around to see if there's any sign of life. If there's any sign that Van Carlo is actually still here, hopefully. Hopefully not a body. See the fire
Yeah,
lit.
looking around, you don't see anything yet, but as you peer down the hall, you do see a fireplace that, like on the second floor, it seems to be lit. It's probably the same, like, kind of smokestack for the two of them. I think someone just closed the door.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly swing around, this door
Very
closes.
loud.
And in front of the fireplace, there's clearly like a rug of some kind of great large cat. I'm not sure if you've seen a tiger before, but if you have, then it's a tiger. If not, it's some kind of orange, black and orange stripy creature.
Are tigers like rare?
They're not
you
native
really
to
know?
Varizia, so it depends on how much you've studied animals or know
Not
about
that
animals.
much. Is there any sign of struggle? Any sign that maybe
Oh
Van
my.
Carlo was here and got taken by chance?
Nothing here in the entryway. Things
Okay.
seem undisturbed.
And there wasn't a back door that Majenko saw, just the windows?
No, looked like just the windows and this one entrance.
Okay. So he left of his own accord, most likely, if he's not here. I'm gonna follow Felix down the hallway towards the fire to see.
Oh, yeah. Make my way towards the fireplace.
normally I would like to clear, but at the same time, this is a very obvious sign of somebody's here.
Yeah, as you make your way to the what is clearly like a living room, you can see there's kind of two nice leather chairs facing the fireplace, both across from each other on this like tiger rug. There are two boar's heads mounted on the wall, and some tables with bouquets of flowers. Seems like just like a nice sitting room. And just north of you there, Mayhem, on your right, is a staircase that looks like it leads up. And then there's two doors here on the south side of the hallway, and there were two doors on the north side of the hallway behind you.
Is the fire magical, or has it been tended to recently?
Nature check or survival?
They're equally bad.
I can certainly detect magic on the fire if you.
Yeah, you could do that as well.
If you're curious.
Felix, to your eyes, it doesn't look like a magical fire. You can smell it. You can feel the warmth of it as you approach. Seems real. Regan, you detect magic in its direction, and yeah, you're not picking anything up.
It's a real
Seems like a real fire.
Well, so he
Can't
was here
have
recently.
been lit too long ago. If it's still burning. There's wood in the fire currently, and it hasn't all burned out.
Should we call his name? Like, hello, Ben Carlo. Are you here?
Is there any response?
Hello.
Oh, I don't know if you're actually doing that or if you're
Oh,
just
no,
whispering
sorry.
that you should do it.
Yeah, I'm like, hello. I'm not gonna scream it, but I'm just like, hello, Ben Carlo. Are you invisible? She's gonna like kind of
Yeah, you're like looking around.
look around. She's like pinging a little detect magic.
Yeah, nothing.
You about?
No one responds. You don't pick up any magical effects.
Are the flowers fresh? Or is it like a potted plant?
It's a potted plant.
Okay.
Oh.
And oh, you're just taking your head down. I need to remove the disguises
Like,
from
oh dear.
your token list. Yeah, you look at the flowers, Felix, and they look like slightly wilted. You could give me a nature check if you wanted to determine how long ago they've been watered, or like how well they're tended to.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
Okay. Yeah, these probably this sort of rose needs quite a bit of sort of regular watering. You've seen them before; they're fairly common in Corvosa. And you're guessing this hasn't been watered for like maybe a few days, maybe a week, somewhere in that range.
Not definitive. He can just be busy, but not a great sign. We can keep going.
Fire's weird.
It is.
There was one upstairs, you said, as well?
Yeah. Up those stairs. Also, there's a room here. I'm scared of the traps.
Mayhem heads upstairs to check.
I'm scared
Oh.
of the dark.
Hold on, you come
Let's see. Let me.
kind of
what's the best way to move you up here? I'll move you into the darkness and then into there. Darkness and then over there. And darkness and then over there. And darkness and over here. Alright. So you all make your way up the dark stairs until you find yourselves in that second floor kind of open space that Bencarlo has clearly kind of turned into a training room of sorts. Give me perception checks.
Question marks.
Oh, my sad little dice.
Yeah, as you look around this room, it's pretty barren. There's like scuff marks on the floor, clearly from like footwork. Unclear if there was a struggle here or if this was just like normal wear and tear from using this space as a secondary practice space. Like the training dummies have clearly been used and well loved. There is a door here. No sign of any damage to it. But Felix, there's something off. There's something like in your nostrils. It's like a tang to the air. You've smelt this before. Alchemist's fire?
Is it coming from the fireplace? We'll get
You
closer
approach
to
the
it.
fireplace, and no, it doesn't appear to be there. As you kind of kneel down, you realize there's like a little bit of residue on the floor. And you like kneel down and sniff the floor. Seems to be on the floor.
Weird. Does it have like a shape? Can I tell where it was on the floor?
It seems to be kind of splattered about.
Like it was like thrown and landed on the floor?
No, more like it was drizzled out. And sort of coated, like smeared on the floor. The whole floor is covered with it.
Like someone has prepared to light this place aflame but hasn't yet?
That's the realization.
This is pouring gasoline on a house before you light it, you torch it.
Insurance scam?
Guess who brought Fireball?
That feels like a
Let's
bad
go.
choice while we're inside the fire bomb.
Was he like
Oh.
lighting his own places?
Maybe it was defensive. He was prepared for it. I mean, maybe the place when his own place went up, somebody attacked him and he burned it down to prevent somebody from getting at him or something. And same thing here.
Maybe. I'm mildly concerned for our own safety in this moment, as we are inside the tinderbox. Is this the thing that can be neutralized, or is this just how it is now?
It could take some work to clean up. You think about how that might be done, and as you're doing that, suddenly the door bursts open, and a man or woman, you're unclear, in full red armor, that appears to be very like bug-like,
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
standing
Like
in the doorway with
a
two
mantis.
Yes. In
Why all the bad guys
mantis-shaped
gotta have the
armor.
coolest armor?
Really cool looking armor.
In mantis-shaped red armor wielding 2 sawtooth blades, a figure stands in the doorway.
Vencarlo.
A woman's voice says from behind the mask.
You are marked. Prepare to die.
Well, you have the wrong people, but I think you're going to be dying first.
Not Vencarlo.
Where's Van
100%
And I'm marking her
not
for death.
Vencarlo.
Or
Do you
him
know
for
what
Well,
Vencarlo
well,
looks
as you're like all reaching for your quip buttons, I think that is probably the end of the session for tonight.
Only
as we will
Jason
need
gets equipped to end the session. Sorry.
Do they not give them pictures?
Next time on Third Action, our group will our group manage to get their quips off fast enough once they roll initiative? Tune in. You don't want to miss it. As our party squares off against a red mantis assassin. Yeah. This will be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I love these guys. They're so weird and delightful. And I love their armor. They look cool.
Their armor's sick. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, dang, yo.
It sounds when you say like, oh, bug armor people, like that sounds stupid, and it sounds like they'll be silly. And they're like, oh, but they made it really cool though. Why'd they do that?
Why'd they gotta be so cool?
But in any case, join us next time as the gang encounters their first mantis. See you soon. We'll see if they survive. Bye-bye.